Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be embarking on a journey. We will be playing Nier Automata in a way the developers never intended. You know those weapons, the things that are integral to progression? Throw that all away, get that shit out of here. Because today we are going to be playing through Nier Automata without weapons, just the bare fists, which cannot be upgraded to my knowledge. A few rules first before we begin. No swords, spears, or gauntlet weapons, only the bare fists can be used. Hacking its 9S is allowed, as it is required for certain sections of the game, although I will avoid using it whenever possible. Pod programs aren't allowed, as some of them are very powerful, especially with multiple pods. And I can use whatever weapons I want during flight unit sections, because otherwise they would suck. Let us begin. In this game we play as 2B, an android girl with an ass so big it broke the internet and is still breaking the internet to this day. Talks about killing God for a bit before literally her whole squad dies, so that's nice. Once we quote-unquote land, I instantly went into the menu and removed all the weapons on both loadouts so I don't accidentally switch to a weapon because I'm down. I definitely would do that. Now that we've handicapped ourselves, let's actually see how we fare. It wasn't so bad, but the moveset could be a little slow at times, especially the heavy attack, which is just a kick. I fared decently well. We were at the beginning of the game, so my damage was still pretty good for now. That did not last long, however, as the boss fight that started just after that encounter showed me just how annoying this challenge was going to be. It took me a little bit, but eventually I whittled down its health enough to where the cutscene started, but that told me that this challenge was going to suck later on. We meet 9S, who I'm sure will be totally fine throughout the whole game, and we begin our descent into the facility. After shooting it down a crane thing, which is required, I had to fight my first flying enemies. This is going to be really annoying throughout the playthrough, as they don't exactly like to stay close to the ground, so I can tell they're going to be a nuisance, but I'm sure I'll handle it. After making our way through and to the bridge, we get to our next big boss fight. This is where I started, as this challenge may have been a mistake. The two saw blades had quite a bit of health, and my little punches were doing very little damage, so this shit was an endurance game by that point. Eventually, after about 15 minutes of smacking him around, I finally whittled him down to have health to trigger the next fight. And it was even worse. Ingalls was annoying as fuck. His hands were only down for like 2 seconds, so I was barely able to damage him because the window of attack was so small, and on top of that he had more health than the last fight. Thankfully, there comes a point where the fight just ends when it gets too long, but if that didn't happen, I would have been there for a while. We killed the big guy, but not before 9S gets messed up. We go on top of the bot to find him, and he realizes that the boss is indeed not dead, because of course that would be too easy. Get 9S's flight unit and finally kill him, but as we do, shit ton more just decide to show up as 2B and 9S touch tips to destroy them and all the enemies. We then wake up in the bunker, Yorha's base of operations. Also, it's all black and white for some reason. It's a stylistic choice, I swear, guys. It turns out 9S has backed up 2B's memories, but not his own, meaning she remembers everything that they did, but he doesn't. After that little awkward exchange, they meet up with the commander, and we get some backstory. Basically, at some point, aliens invaded the planet and sent the machine army to kill humanity. Humanity flies off into the moon, and Yorha is made to destroy them so that humans can come back. Pretty simple stuff. After all that, the commander berates you for blowing yourself up, even though you know you can beat 7 of them, but yeah, sure, I'm the reckless one. After that little interaction, the commander tells him to go to the planet and talk to the android Resistance, as well to look up the disappearance of a Resistance contact, only for that contact to be forgotten about and never mentioned, seen, or heard from in the game again. Truly A+ storytelling. Once we land in the city ruins, made my way down and killed some machines to get some practice in. Right, the Resistance can't do it for basic introductory quests like grabbing stuff and killing enemies, forced being sent to the desert. Welcome to the desert, aka the largest area in the game, also my least favorite. Why did the biggest area have to be the most boring one to look at? We are still asking these questions to this day. Yoko Taro, please answer my DMs. So we arrive at the desert to find the machines are wearing masks now. That definitely has no relevance. After doing that for a bit, we end up having to chase one particularly annoying one for a while until we run into a giant hole in the ground where all the bots are, well, we better stop this. After killing what felt like infinite amounts of enemies, they all decided to do a little trolling and literally use their bodies to give birth to a naked man. Turns out he's a machine too, even though he still bleeds, which makes total sense. Here we meet Adam, the super fun fight that you can tell was not meant to last this long. Despite my damage felt like nothing to these enemies, it felt like I was just tickling Adam's health bar. That's how into the game, we're already taking forever. That's not a good sign. It's really not. After eventually killing Adam, he spawns another one out of him for some reason. We make our way back to the resistance camp and stock up on all those healing items I went through, which was a lot. We get Skype called again saying, hey, there's like 100 androids missing in the amusement park. Can you two go look at that? I'm sure you'll be fine. Welcome to the amusement park, where all the enemies are friendly until you attack them. Unfortunately for them, they're looking like just enough XP. We then arrived to find a literal tank blocking our path. I thought he was going to be a challenge, but actually he felt like he barely had any defense. I killed him really fast for some reason. I think he'd be stronger for a tank. After a very fun roller coaster ride, we fell into a building where we encountered the first really hard part of this run. Welcome to the Beauvoir boss fight. She is certainly something. Her first phase wasn't so bad, but then she starts her hacking bullshit. When you get to her second phase though, the one where her dress rips off, that's when shit gets real. Oh god, what the fuck's that? It took me quite a lengthy amount of time to beat her, but I finally managed it. Once that mess was over, we are then greeted by this guy who invites us to the Machine Village, where we meet Pascal. Turns out they're full of pacifists, so they're chill, so they won't kill us, thankfully. After delivering some resources to the resistance camp for them, I managed to unlock the shockwave chip. This will allow me to have much more range with my attacks, so I don't have to be so close to enemies. This will be essential for certain bosses later. After arriving back to Pascal's village, I accidentally one-shot killed him with a misclick. After reloading save, we talked to Pascal before. Oh no, the city ruins are under attack by more big lads. This fight is very similar to the original run, except I can actually hit him from afar now because of the shockwave, so I won't go very much into depth. After killing yet another one, it lets out a huge explosive EMP, which causes a massive hole to appear on the ground, revealing that the aliens that made the machines were all hiding underground. Wow. 2B and 9S are sent to investigate by themselves again. You'd think they'd send more people, but now look at this. It's not like we've been start looking for these guys for thousands of years, huh? We head into the underground facility to find Adam and Eve. Eve being the other one that's birthed out of Adam earlier. That was an uncomfortable sentence to say, if I'm honest. They revealed that they killed their alien creators. Now they're just sort of doing their own thing now, and they kind of want to just like dissect the humans on the moon, I guess. The fight itself is actually pretty easy. It ends when they finish monologuing, so it's not that bad. They peace out because it's not time for the game to end yet, and we head back to the bunker to let them know what we've learned. Commander tells us not to tell anyone, which seems a bit weird in hindsight, but I mean go off, I guess. We are then told to go ask Pascal about machine stuff, so go ahead and do it. He tells us there's a very hostile forest kingdom that we should visit. On our way there, we encounter Emil from the first Nier game, who immediately threatened with violence.
Hey there, guys. What's up?
This thing's weird, 2B. Let's kill it.
Wait, what?
He then blasts the gate open to escape, which lets us progress. Welcome to the Forge Zone, where I died immediately due to stupidity. In this era, we have enemies who attack in groups, stab me, and talk about the best game ever. So already, we're in hell. We infiltrate the entrance to the castle. We find a machine who never skipped leg day. He wasn't actually that hard to beat, which kind of shocked me, considering I was barely doing anything to the regular enemies at this point. Welcome to the castle, full of obvious evil statues and platforming. Yay. This part wasn't so bad, it was more of an endurance run. Then we meet the Forest King, who is a robot baby. He is immediately killed by A2, aka the best character in the game. Apparently she abandoned her post and has been on the run from Yorha. Command won't tell us why, but she immediately tells us to kill her, and damn, I see why. She rocked my shit so hard that I died several times to her. She's fast and she uses weapons, something that I really wish I could do. Finally quote unquote beat her, but she just escapes. We call the commander to ask her about AD, but she's like, don't worry about it, you know, at least she didn't kill you. We go to ask Pascal about her, but he gives us nothing besides she's dangerous, so yeah, rehold for there, buddy. We head back to the camp to resupply, only to be told that we need to protect some missiles on the shoreline. Upon protecting said missiles for like 5 minutes, we are told to take the skies once more to defend an aircraft carrier out on the ocean. Great, I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
That's new.
Oh god, it's a fucking kaiju? This section, being a fight unit section, is exactly what you would expect, shooting and more shooting. Then head back to the shore and use a fucking railgun to shoot him. It works, and victories are JK, that didn't do shit. Oh my god, now it's really a fucking kaiju. NS has the right idea to use the missiles back on the shoreline against him, use them, but the kaiju uses an insta-wipe attack on everyone. We awaken back in the shoreline, alone. 9S is missing. We head to the resistance camp to get a powerful scanner capable of finding him from Devil and Popola from the first Nier game? That's not confusing at all, considering I thought they died in that game. Anyways, we track him down to an underground elevator where we enter the coolest area in the game, the copied city. There's dead androids everywhere. That's probably not a good sign. Ready to find Adam once more. This time he's got an interesting fashion sense. He has kidnapped 9S to lure her here. He essentially wanted to piss her off so much that she would try and kill him, as he wants to understand the concept of death, I guess? He even cuts himself off the network so he can be mortal and to feel how fighting for your life feels. This is a bad move on his part. This one's essentially the same as the last Adam fight, so if he stays on the ground the whole time, at least I can hit him much easier. Doesn't last very long, and 2B kills his boy in a band looking ass. Turns out dying isn't fun. Who'd have thought it? We rescue 9S and we get out of there, as the copied city crumbles. While 9S is still recovering in the bunker, 2B is told to go get more info from Pascal, because why not? He tells us of a society of machines in the abandoned factory who want a peace treaty with his village. So him and 2B go to see what that's about. They meet up at the factory and we meet up with the machines who suddenly believe in God? Their leader is revealed to be dead, and they think that since he dies he's become a god, so now they decide it's time for you to meet God. There's an unlimited amount of them coming at you for this section. You have to kill enough of them for the door to open. With that though is that I'm doing jack for damage, so this lasted a lot longer than I'd like. Unfortunately, after a good few minutes of smacking bots around, the door finally opened. I was able to begin my escape. My tactic for this escape section is literally just ignoring the enemies, except for a couple, the suicide enemies. I could not run from them, or dodge them. The only way to kill them before they explode is to shoot at them with a gun, so what I do, I tanked every hit with like 20 healing items. It took a while, but I eventually made it through. Unfortunately, I'd used a lot of healing items. This would bite me in the ass later. Finally, 2B and Pascal make it out, and we can finally rest for a minute after all the fighting. Just kidding, the resistance camp is under attack by machines who are fucking eating them. We heard a big boom from outside the camp. We go outside to the fight. The fight in this playthrough I think broke me the most. The spider thing from the abandoned factory is back. Oh yeah, right, I didn't even mention him. He was a boss fight. But he has an electrical field that stops me from attacking him normally. The only way I can damage him is with the shockwave. But it does a total of like 30 damage per hit, so this took forever. Almost 30 full minutes of taking out tiny bits of health at a time, as well as the draining of my healing items left me exhausted and not really in a good state by the end of the fight. He could also regen his health, which was just a dick move. Turns out Eve was palading the damn thing, no wonder it was such a pain to beat. This fight wasn't that bad actually, I beat it pretty easily. Turned into a giant fucking worm and attacks Pascal's village. I thought this fight would be the run ender, but he can actually be hit when he comes down, which I didn't know. But we still kept trucking along. Eve destroys all the berserk machines and waits for us in the crater. The final boss was here. Fortunately though, I knew when I started this that this would be the run killer. For the first phase, it was a simple brawl with Eve, not that bad. The second phase though, everything changes. It is almost impossible to hit Eve at this part, and even if I can, I'm not doing any damage, and midway through he makes it so you can't even melee at all. The game will let you have to shoot, it's the only way you can do damage. So, as much as I hate to say it, you can't beat Nier Automata with just the fists. The final boss being the stopping point. I was hoping I could make it considering I came so far, but it's just not possible. I had to use my guns to finish off Eve. 2B finishes him off, and the day is won. Except it's not. 9S hacked into Eve to cut him off from the network so he could be killed, but in the process he's infected with a logic virus and isn't going to make it. 2B must strangle him to death, which... Wait, do androids even breathe? Is that a thing? That's confusing. But anyways, 2B is sad that he had to die, but it's all good. Turns out 9S transfers consciousness to a nearby machine, so he lives. And there ends Nier Automata, and everyone lived happily ever after. Except fuck you, we have 2 more playthroughs of content to go through. That's right, this shit isn't over. So like the video and subscribe for part 2, where it comes out in like 20 years. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.